Hi, I'm Brent Van Deysen. As an elder law attorney, my law firm is dedicated to helping seniors protect their property and their life savings from the high cost of nursing home care. My law firm helps seniors qualify for governmental benefits to pay for nursing home care, in-home care, and assisted living care. If you would like to learn more about how you can protect your assets, please attend one of my free legal seminars in your area. Seating is limited, so please call 304-594-1900.
Hello and welcome to Network West Virginia's Legally Speaking. This program is designed to educate and inform you, our local viewers, about the legal practice in our great state and how the law can affect you. Each week on Network West Virginia's Legally Speaking, we will feature some of the most progressive attorneys in the state, and you'll hear direct from them on a wide range of issues. You'll also be able to ask questions and make comments for future episodes by using the Contact Us page on networkwestvirginia.com. You can also find us on Twitter at NetworkWV. And now the host of Network West Virginia's Legally Speaking, Amy Strobel.
Good evening and welcome to Legally Speaking on Network West Virginia. I'm Amy Strobel, joined by Brent Van Deysen of the Van Deysen Law Firm. And tonight, in our premiere episode, we're going to navigate the complexities of Medicare and Medicaid and how they pertain to your long-term care. But first, I'm delighted to welcome Brent Van Deysen, an attorney who specializes in elder care law, to our show. Brent's dedication to the field of elder law is going to be an asset for our viewers as he guides us through many of the issues that seniors are facing today. Brent, welcome. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you, Amy, for having me.
Tell me a little bit about how you got into the specialty of elder care.
Well, I graduated from WVU Law School 14 years ago, and at that time, my grandmother's health was very poor. She wound up in a nursing home after falling and breaking her hip, and then I began looking into the different ways that she might be able to qualify for Medicaid, and I was kind of shocked because basically somebody who's unprepared for this event may wind up losing their home, may wind up losing their life savings, and when you consider somebody's lifetime, and maybe perhaps with my grandmother, her situation, her and my grandfather, by the time she wound up in a nursing home, she owned a modest home. She had a modest amount of savings, but that represented two people working their entire lives at difficult jobs and for small wage amounts. So that's what really inspired me to get into elder law. And as I started looking into it, I quickly realized this is not an area of the law that most attorneys know anything about. If you ask 10 different lawyers about Medicaid, you get 10 different answers. So I set out to be an expert inspired by her, and I quickly realized this is a problem for all citizens of my state. And we wound up having a great need in the community, and I'm blessed to be able to say that this has been a wonderful area of practice. It's very rewarding, and I feel like I can truly help others.
Well, and that's really what we want to talk about tonight is the Medicare and Medicaid and how those two programs can work for you when or if you find yourself in a situation where you need long-term care. Brent, first of all, let's talk about why this is such an important topic. If you are getting to be older and you're looking at long-term care, what is the cost of that long-term care? And really, like you mentioned, many people in West Virginia and all over the United States may find themselves needing it. But in West Virginia, how many people are looking into it? And I think the big factor is, what is the cost of long-term care?
Well, sure. And to answer that, if you check around in your community, for example, in the Charleston area, it seems like the low cost of a nursing home is about $7,500 a month. The high cost of a nursing home is $10,025 a month. The median tending to be about $8,500 a month, so it's very expensive. And as far as your question as to how many people may need this, I think the statistics say something to the effect of out of two people, the probabilities are that one will need nursing home care, and then from there the average stay, according to statistics, about 2.5 years.
Okay, that's a lot of money that you need to pay for that. So that's where Medicaid and Medicare are going to come into play.
Correct.
And as we've discussed a little bit, they're two very different programs. So can you explain that to us?
Sure. Basically with Medicare, Medicare will pay for long-term care in a nursing home under its skilled care benefit for Medicare Part B. So basically with Medicare paying for nursing home care, we're talking about what I like to think of as rehab. And to qualify for Medicare to pay a nursing home bill, there has to be an illness or an injury event where the individual is admitted to the hospital for treatment, not just for observation. That doesn't count. And as long as the individual is there at the hospital for at least through 3 midnights, then when they transfer out to a nursing home, there has to be a need for skilled care. And if there is that need, then Medicare will initially pay.
Okay, what if you don't meet that criteria? What if you only stay for 1 midnight or you only stay for observation?
Right, exactly. And in that case, if you wind up going to a nursing home from there, you're not eligible for Medicare, and the next benefit you have to look to then is Medicaid. But with Medicare, a couple of things real quick about the payment of that. You can qualify for up to 100 days. With the 100 days, you've got the first 20 days being provided completely by Medicare. The remaining 80 days, if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, Medicare's paying 80%, your supplement is paying the remaining 20%. If you don't have the supplement, then you're paying out of pocket that 20%. But to get the maximum, there has to be that need for skilled care. Like in my grandmother's case, physical therapy. So if you've fallen and broken a hip, that's a typical skilled care benefit. If you've had a stroke, it might be speech therapy or occupational therapy. To get all 100 days, you have to be improving and participating. So if you become suddenly too weak to participate, or if the service is no longer beneficial, then at that point everything stops. And then you're looking to the next benefit, which is Medicaid.
All right, please tell us what Medicaid is, because
Sure.
I'm trying to do the math as you're talking here, and even paying 20% on bare minimum $7,500 a month, that's expensive.
Yeah, and actually the cost of skilled care when you're receiving a physical therapy, it's actually nearly double of what traditional long-term care is, so it does get expensive.
Okay,
But,
so Medicaid.
So with Medicaid, in order to qualify for Medicaid to pay a nursing home bill, they are going to look at your income, they are going to look at your assets, and if you are married, they are going to look at the assets that you and your spouse own. And to qualify for Medicaid, your total countable assets may not be more than $2,000.
And I'm guessing most people's are more than that.
Yes, but when I say the phrase countable assets, $2,000, it doesn't mean that you have to be flat broke in order to qualify for Medicaid to pay a nursing home bill. You can own valuable assets and qualify. So there are basically certain asset types that are ignored to determine Medicaid eligibility and certain assets that are counted or valued as of the day you go in. And if you have excess countable assets, then to become eligible, you have to spend those down, and most people do that by privately paying for care.
So the term spend it down, I want to focus on that a little bit because I've read some of the work you do, some of your seminars, and an example you gave there, you were talking about a large sum of money, like $75,000 that you would have to be spending on this long-term care.
Right.
Is that the average amount you find people have to spend down, and is there a smarter way to spend it down than to pay for the care?
Sure, and I think to be able to address those questions, it's best to understand what assets do you have to spend down and what assets can you own and qualify for Medicaid. So the first thing you can own without having to spend down is a home. As long as that home has a value of $536,000 or less, and as long as you intend to return home if you get better, which most West Virginians who own a home are going to fall into that category. So when I say you don't have to spend down your home, you don't have to sell it, turn it into a pile of money, and then spend that money on care. If all you own is a home, you can qualify for Medicaid to pay a nursing home bill. And then as far as the other assets that you can own household goods and furnishings, you can own one automobile, and the value of that automobile doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can have a prepaid funeral and burial, a small life insurance policy with a face value of $1,500, and then a burial plot for you and your immediate family. Then the rest of the assets are going to be counted and valued. And if the rest of your assets exceed $2,000, then that's what you have to spend before you can qualify.
Okay, a ton of information, and we definitely need your expertise in explaining all this. So when we come back, we are going to do that. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Brent Van Deysen. As an elder law attorney, my law firm is dedicated to helping seniors protect their property and their life savings from the high cost of nursing home care. My law firm helps seniors qualify for governmental benefits to pay for nursing home care, in-home care, and assisted living care. If you would like to learn more about how you can protect your assets, please attend one of my free legal seminars in your area. Seating is limited, so please call 304-594-1900.
Welcome back to Legally Speaking on Network West Virginia. Brent Van Deysen and I are talking about Medicare and Medicaid tonight. And before the break, Brent, we were talking about what you need to do to qualify for Medicaid, because that can help with some of these extremely expensive long-term care costs. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you need to do to qualify?
Sure. First of all, the process involves applying for Medicaid benefits at the local DHHR office. And in order to do that, they're going to verify income and assets. If you're over in assets, then to become eligible, you have to spend down. So what are some good things you can spend your money on besides paying the nursing home bill each month? Because if you're not eligible for Medicaid, you're going to have to pay the nursing home bill each month. So if you haven't prepaid your funeral and burial expenses, you can do that. Go to the local funeral home, pick out the goods and services, the casket and so on, and prepay that, either paying in cash, or if you have a life insurance that has cash, a life insurance policy that has cash value, that's a smart way to do it also. That way you don't have to cash the policy. And then perhaps you may need some things for your home. Maybe the appliances and the floor coverings are worn out, for example, or perhaps making some modifications to your home to make it handicap accessible in the event that you could come home. You know, again, good things to spend your money on if you're going into a nursing home, and have some assets that you have to spend through before you become Medicaid eligible.
Okay, and that brings a point I know we wanted to talk about, your home. And when you apply for Medicaid, there seems to be some fear that you could lose your home. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Let our viewers know what they need to do to keep their home safe.
Sure. And the issue with the home is, if you qualify for Medicaid, then at your passing, the state of West Virginia would have the right to put a lien against your home. And then when you die, the state can put a lien to recover all of the Medicaid paid nursing home care that you received in a nursing home. So if your home is worth $100,000, but the state paid $125,000 for your care, at your passing, that lien goes against the property, and then the state can reclaim out of its eventual sale up to the amount of the lien. So if your goal is to leave your home to your heirs, that can be frustrated if the state recovers those Medicaid costs against your home.
Okay, so here's the next question. You find yourself in a position, you need long-term care, you fill out the paperwork. At what point do you need to contact an attorney versus just trying to do this on your own? Because it is confusing.
Sure, and having an attorney is not a requirement. I mean, an individual can submit an application on their own, but you get the best results, in my opinion, from having an elder law attorney be able to help you through, because you know, I've had years of experience submitting applications for clients. You know, the law is very complicated. There are some things that you can do in order to legally save assets. So that's one of the things that we help people do, submit the applications. And right now in West Virginia, if we have a married couple with the husband or wife going into the nursing home, the other spouse staying at home, we can literally save just about every penny,
Wow.
which is pretty phenomenal. So really good results. If we have an individual who's single going into a nursing home, no spouse, then we can save about half of their financial assets. Again, really good results. But for people who are in good health, my advice is you want to be able to plan your affairs at least 5 years in advance in case in the future you need care. And the 5 years is important because as Medicaid rules have changed over the years, they've taken away some of the planning options for people who haven't planned in advance.
Okay, and that's my next question to you. At what point do you start planning for long-term care? I mean,
Sure.
It sounds like you don't want to do it the day you get sick.
Right. I would say, for most people looking at this at least as early as age 55 is a good idea. I think much before that, people have a difficulty being able to envision themselves in that situation. So 55 or over, it's a good time to not just plan for death by having a will, but also plan for incapacity, setting up a power of attorney, maybe even setting up a trust to protect your assets in case you need nursing home care.
On that topic, I hear you say plan for death. How do you work with people with such a sensitive and such an emotionally charged issue? I mean, when you talk about planning for your long-term care, planning for your death, buying your casket, making your funeral arrangements, I'm guessing those are very sensitive, emotionally difficult topics.
Most definitely, it's been a wonderful experience to help people through these sensitive times. I remember what I felt like to know my grandmother was in a nursing home, and I can certainly appreciate what my clients are going through in that regard.
In that regard, and I have to brag about you a little bit because I know you do a lot of service for your community and you've been very involved with the Alzheimer's Association. What about that inspires you and keeps you busy with that?
It's inspiring to me because in the state of West Virginia, the Alzheimer's Association is so proactive. Not only are they getting information out to the community, but they have caregiver support groups, which are so valuable for people taking care of loved ones with Alzheimer's or dementia. They have fundraisers to raise money to help find a cure, and it's just a great organization.
Well, you can see not only are you dedicated to the legal side of your profession, but that you do care about the people you're serving as well.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about Medicaid and Medicare and planning for your future. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Brent Van Deysen. As an elder law attorney, my law firm is dedicated to helping seniors protect their property and their life savings from the high cost of nursing home care. My law firm helps seniors qualify for governmental benefits to pay for nursing home care, in-home care, and assisted living care. If you would like to learn more about how you can protect your assets, please attend one of my free legal seminars in your area. Seating is limited, so please call 304-594-1900.
Welcome back to Legally Speaking. Brent Van Deysen and I are talking tonight about Medicare and Medicaid. And I think one of the very sensitive topics we've brought up is when people get to that point and they're applying for Medicaid, they become concerned about their home. We talk about in the state of West Virginia, the state can put a lien on your home. What do you say to your clients about that fear?
Sure. A couple of things are, first of all, there are planning options to deal with that. I mean, as far as the lien goes, it is put against the home after the nursing home patient passes away, but there are many circumstances in which they do not place a lien or in which a lien can be legally avoided.
Okay, and that is the type of information that you can help a client with?
Absolutely, absolutely. So as far as protecting the home, I would say that in nearly every case, if somebody finds themselves going into a nursing home, we still have options to legally protect the home.
Do people go into a nursing home, excuse me, directly out of a hospital usually, or do you ever face a situation where someone is at home and just suddenly feels, I need to get more care? I mean, I guess my question is, how often are you having a hospital tell you you need to go to nursing home versus you making a decision?
Sure, and I think it depends on the situation. Certainly if somebody's had a fall and they've had to have surgery, they're going to wind up going into the nursing home for rehab from that surgery. But many of my clients who may have dementia or may have become bedridden but don't have a need for skilled care, it may just be that whatever caregiving arrangements they have at home, it's no longer working, and now it's time to come into a nursing home. And if that's the case, then Medicare's not going to apply. It's going to be, Medicaid, unless the person has, greater than 2,000 assets, then they're going to have to privately pay, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month until they can qualify.
What happens if someone does go into a nursing home and they are that private pay? I mean, does that financially ruin you? Does that affect your heirs or yourself if you have to go back home?
Well, sure. I mean, it's not something that most people plan for or can envision. I mean, think about it. If you've lived your whole life and have saved up, say, $80,000, and you find yourself going into a nursing home, and if you have a stay of 8 to 10 months, that could pretty well take your entire life savings if you're not prepared. So, I mean, it can certainly wipe people out. Many people, if there's like a fall, for example, and you have the ability to go in, get rehab, get well enough to go back home, then that's a great situation.
Sure.
But if you wind up needing that extended stay, and Medicare ends, then it's going to be spending through the monies that you've saved until you can qualify.
Okay, and Brent, tell us a little bit about what you would expect at a first meeting with you. Do you do free
Sure.
consultations?
I do.
Talk us through that a little bit.
Sure, we offer a free consultation. I'm very generous with my time in that regard because the first thing I try to do is educate people. We offer free legal seminars throughout the state of West Virginia, and particularly in the Charleston area, we have at least one seminar offered twice a month, 90 minutes, completely free. We usually advertise those in the local paper, so just watch for a Sunday advertisement for that. We also advertise those seminars on our website at wvelderlaw.com. But we also offer a free consultation. If you have the need immediately and you need assistance with, if somebody's gone into a nursing home, you want to come see us to find out what can we do to protect our assets. We offer a free consultation. Spend about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I can lay out for the client, what's going to be involved, what can we do. If you want to hire us to handle the Medicaid application, we can do that and save you whatever the law allows us to do for you.
And when you first meet with clients, what do you find are some of their biggest concerns or the most common questions they have?
Sure. A lot of the concerns are, of course, of financial nature. Am I going to be able to keep my home? Is the state going to take my home? Is the nursing home going to, take all of my money? Those are the main things. And if you can imagine, especially for the older generation who grew up during the Depression, the possible loss of that is just emotionally devastating to them. So, those are the main issues that I see. And in a nursing home setting, if you're paying $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month, you're not getting any different care than somebody who's receiving Medicaid paid nursing home care. So, as a consumer, you're not really getting anything better. But fortunately, the law does still have some flexibility in it. And if you have an elder law attorney to be able to help you through that, you definitely wind up being able to save more, qualify for Medicaid sooner, and do the best you can to protect your assets from the high cost of nursing home care.
All right, and Brent, we've talked a lot about someone who goes into a nursing home with an injury and you expect maybe to be there for 8 months. Do you ever work with clients who are expecting to be there until they pass away?
Well, sure, yeah, and that's probably the majority of clients.
Okay.
If you've had a stroke, if you've had a fall and a hip fracture, you may not heal, you may not recover, and that may mean that Medicare rehab may not work for you, and at that point, Then when Medicare stops, now you're looking, what can we do to qualify for Medicaid? Really, the best results in cases like that, if it doesn't appear that that the rehab's going very well, or if it doesn't appear reasonably likely that somebody's going to be able to go home from the nursing home, then by all means call our office, come see us for the free consultation, and then we can go over everything that we can do in order to get the individual eligible for Medicaid and preserve whatever the law allows us to preserve.
All right, and I think that's important for people to know. You don't have to speak to you or any attorney the day you go in. It's at any part along the rocky road where you can come in and seek legal advice.
Sure. I mean, certainly the best results happen the sooner you come in. For example, you know, if you went into a nursing home and rehab didn't work and you went through 9 months paying $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month, and then came to see me, you may wish that you had come to see me
Yes.
9 months earlier. But you know, the point is, if somebody's in a nursing home, not eligible for Medicaid yet, if they own a home, if they have you know, some financial assets saved up, you know, the law still allows some pretty generous things, but it's not a do-it-yourself system. You really have to have a competent elder law attorney to be able to navigate that with you.
Okay, and on that note, we're almost out of time. I just want to let our viewers know that we truly value your feedback and your questions, and Brent has been kind enough to say send those here to us at the station, and he'll look at them, and we hope to answer them on future shows. And of course, please feel free to contact Brent. Either check out his web address or call him in his office for a consultation, and he will share this knowledge with you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good night.
You have been watching Network West Virginia's Legally Speaking. The views expressed on this show are that of our guest attorney and not the host, sponsors, or advertisers, and should not be considered as personal legal advice. If you have a specific legal issue, please speak with an attorney in person. For more information on schedules, appearing on, or sponsoring this or any Network West Virginia show, please use the Contact Us page on networkwestvirginia.com.
It starts with something little, like taking a first step, and then another, and another. And if you do it, and your friends do it, and their friends do it, soon we'll be walking our way to awareness, support, and an end to Alzheimer's disease. And that would be big.
Grab your friends and family and start a team today. Register at alz.org.
Hi, I'm Brent Van Deysen. As an elder law attorney, my law firm is dedicated to helping seniors protect their property and their life savings from the high cost of nursing home care. My law firm helps seniors qualify for governmental benefits to pay for nursing home care, in-home care, and assisted living care. If you would like to learn more about how you can protect your assets, please attend one of my free legal seminars in your area. Seating is limited, so please call 304-594-1900.